What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Today I'm going to be showing you where we are at so far with my newest track creation. This is going to be round one of the Pit Bike Supercross series that I've been creating, and what you see here is probably about 90% finished. So I'll give you a little bit of a tour real quick before we do any riding, and what you'll notice actually is, so this is my latest build of the game that's been put into bikes. Also, hang on, my lights aren't on, give me a second.
For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe.
So this is my most recent build. Each build takes about 20 minutes for my PC at least to compile everything together, get all the shadows in place, etc. And you'll notice there's some buildings dotted around that are just pure white. Now, this is because of errors when compiling everything together and file types not being correct or textures not being to the power of 2, etc. And I've left it in this video so you get an idea of the troubles that you come across when you're building tracks and how it's a bit of trial and error and test it, edit it, test it again, so on and so forth. So the reason it's 90% done, this area right here will be the pit area. So we're going to have some like semis, camper vans, etc., pop-up tents. I have here my little wall of thanks. I do need to. You can see them flickering a bit here. That's because they're really, really close to the container. So I need to move them away just a couple of pixels, and then that won't give me any flickering effects anymore. Again, more troubleshooting issues. I love sections like this where we kind of go in and under these little buildings. I think it's just really satisfying to ride personally. One thing I'm unsure of about, which I need to see if there's a way of batch doing this in Blender rather than doing it one by one, is the bales are a lot darker than I anticipated. I wanted more of like a lighter whitey / yellowy kind of hay bale. So I'll have to go online to do some searching of that. But as you can see, I mean, she's pretty close to being done. Just the odd bits here and there. Again, a pit area. I've got to do timing gates, etc. And today, the testing that I'm going to be doing is going to be on S450, which might sound a bit weird, but I just kind of want to show off that the track is viable on all options. Obviously, the start's not going to be here. The start needs moving. I am, however, going to move over to the start. One thing I've done is, so not all of the bales have collisions. The only ones that do are the ones on the insides of corners like this. You can't like scumbag your way through and cheat and cut it. Although, did I miss that one out? This barrel definitely does. Yeah, it's got slow physics, so as you ride into it, it will like jerk you forwards to try again at a bit faster speed. There you go, you can see it jerks you off for there. Don't take that out of context, Jesus. We've got some little catch thingies on the outside of the berms. They haven't got collisions, they're just for aesthetics. We've got my very custom DIY finish line jump there. And let's just take you on a little bit of a tour, and I'll show you some more issues as and when we come across it, which I think it's nice to show you guys the problems that we have. Thank you very much, Stone Rider, for providing that over-under jump for me. I really do appreciate it. There's so many people in Discord have helped me when it comes to this track with troubleshooting and such. Also, need to update this section here, so this is actually sand traction rather than the soft soil that it currently is. You can go triple through here, or you can go quad double. Now, here's where issue number one arises. This section it's a split section, and I wanted to make it so you can't jump from outside across to the inside. So I've put a few walls here which have collisions to stop you from jumping all the way over from one side to the other. However, them collisions seem to be a little bit funky. So if I ride to the outside here, you will see that it's kind of slowing me down about this point. So there's something going on with this wall here that's causing those collisions. However, I might as well just remove them, because there's not really much point in having collisions on the outside, if that makes sense, because you're not going to be cutting the track on the outside of it, and I can just adjust that with timing gates, etc. anyway, making the timing gates narrow. Again, we've got a little split here, inside or outside. The only bales that have collisions on are these ones in the middle right here, and then also these ones on the inside here. Same with the whoop section. The left side and the right side don't have collisions, but the ones in the middle of each section do, so you can't cut across from one side to the other. And this, oh boys. I need to show you this in Blender for you to get an idea of what's going on here. So I'm hopefully this will transfer over to Blender as soon as I load it up. There we go. So I'm in Blender here. This jump is what you're looking at in game, and that's not the only part of the model. If I click on the model, you will see that it extends underneath the map because the model itself is a lot bigger. But I thought, me in my infinite wisdom, I'd kind of adjust it to make it this sort of archway that goes over the top. However, this has collisions. And the collisions don't only affect the parts that you see, it encompasses the entire object. So the collisions are actually in the middle here as well. So as I'm going up to ride up to this here, let me go back into game. As we go to ride up to this, if we was to go at a decent speed, we go over the handlebars. So I need to remove the collisions from this, basically. And also, by the looks of it, there is no roof, which I didn't realise. So I'm going to have to try and flip the norms around and sort that out. So I'm just going to get rid of the collisions here. And what I'll do with the timing gates is I'll put strict timing gates on each side of this this little wall jump. Other than that, as far as issues go, I don't see many. Now, again, it's worth me mentioning that this track is built for the OTTM 110, like the CRF 110. So it's scaled for that. If you're on a 450, like I am right now, the scaling will be a little bit on the small side. So we're massively over jumping that. Rum did quad into that section, by the way. I did give Rum a very, very early build of this. The actual rhythms and such have changed since then, but that one rhythm you just saw is exactly the same, and you managed to quad in on the big bike. So there are some very interesting lines available. I'm very happy with the textures. Again, I have to thank Stone Rider for a lot of texture help. It's basically been copy and paste from his aerial stuff that he releases. He's just got a whole PSD for it. Don't go and bug him for it. He's not going to give it out to everybody. It's not public. It's just for those special few, you know, the ones that very desperately need it, such as I. But other than that, I'm very happy with how this track's kind of taken place and how it's all come together. And I think it's worth kind of showing off to you guys the process that goes into it. And if I'll do a lap or two around here, and I'll show you everything all encompassing in Blender. This has taken me probably very close to 2 weeks now of just non-stop track building, which probably seems like quite a long time, and for most people it would be. However, we know that I'm quite new to this whole track building thing. It takes me a lot longer than others. My Photoshop skills aren't particularly amazing. My Blender skills are very, very lackluster. So learning things just takes a long time. I'm going to go around this time so I don't get destroyed by the collisions. I think that's the smart move to make. There's also some variable lines if you are on big bikes. You can step over this. Can you quad out? Oh, you can quad out. I will say, I think I've got very, very lucky in building this track because somehow with the scaling and the jump faces and the distance between jumps, it's made for some really good rhythms depending on what bike you're on. Obviously, I had this one set rhythm in mind on the 110. However, when you hop onto like a 450 now, for example, you can kind of jump one extra jump further, and it flows really, really nicely. The jumps themselves, like the berms, like the Dragon's Back, everything that you see on this track is taken from Matt Robb's MX Simulator PSD. He's got one on the MX Simulator forums for making tracks. They've been tweaked ever so slightly because some parts don't work well with MX bikes. So, for example, this over-under jump here, as well as the wall jump in half a lap's time, they were far too steep for MX bikes to handle. You'd get all sorts of funky physics going on. So I thought I basically stretched them out. I made them a bit longer, and it handles a whole lot better than it did originally. And we see the bridge has literally got aerial branding on it. Now I'm going to go outside here to show off the different lines. We're going to try and hug this inside so we don't. Oh no, we still hit the collisions. I'm just going to remove the collisions entirely. To be honest, there's no need for them to be there. One thing that could be the case is with those walls. I did a lot of manual editing of the objects themselves to make them fit together. So what could happen is maybe the collisions is going based off the original like size of the wall. So the wall could actually be extending out onto the track there, and you just can't see it. It's invisible. So again, more things to troubleshoot. But I think it's worth seeing what goes into the track building process. With the objects dotted around the track, I was struggling really hard to find a nice balance between going completely overkill and making the game run like absolute doo-doo because there's so many objects and MX bikes. It's not well optimized. And then trying to find enough where you can't really see the edges of the map, because what I didn't want to happen is I don't actually know if I can get out the map on this track. I'll go and replay camera because I've got like collisions around the entire outside. Let me show you what's going on. So if we go up, there's kind of like 2 or 3 layers worth of buildings as you go around the outside, because what I didn't know a good way of doing is finding a way of covering up the void. And I feel like when you can't see the void, you feel like you're much more you're in the track, if that makes sense. You don't look like you're just plonked on top of a flat plane in the abyss, so to speak. So I wanted to do as good a job as covering this up as possible without going super duper overkill with high quality detail models, because it just doesn't work well in game. If we go back over to Blender right here and I select like this, for example, if I go into edit mode, you can see that it's got a decent amount of polys, but it's nothing insane. And to be fair, if I wanted to spend hours and hours by fine-tuning and adjusting things, I could like get rid of the ladders and etc. and just kind of show you what's what here. When it comes to the collisions over with our walls over here, I'm kind of getting all the collisions around here in the middle, which makes me think it's something to do with this wall right here, because I merged this wall together. It was one piece. For some reason, I merged it, so I'm just going to get rid of the collisions, probably all the way around the outside here. If you had no idea how to go about adding collisions to objects, so I know for a fact this wall here has collisions. If I scroll down and find it, it's all to do with the naming prefix at the start. So this has soft habe, basically for soft habal at the start of it, which makes it like quite a harsh collision. And you'll see that I have changed it now. But where are we? So these buildings, for example, they have no collisions. This warehouse or the building has no collisions over here, but this one did. And as I say, it goes all the way under. You saw that there was no roof on it. There is a roof in Blender, which is really, really annoying. So what I think I have to do is duplicate the model, flip the norms, so then you'll see it from the top and the bottom, and then it should be okay. Because I had exactly that same issue with this little bit through here. So you can see there is a roof underneath. However, when I got into game before, there was nothing. You could see through to the sky, which is not very immersive. But I'm very, very happy with how this has gone so far. It's taken me way longer than I ever imagined it would do. Let me just actually load all the models in again so you can see. It's taken me way longer than I expected it to, but I'm very happy with it. So I've got some minor details to tweak. I have to fix the texturing on these massive white buildings because they're just showing up pure white in game. I've got 1 or 2 places where I need to fix the collisions, and then other than that, it is just a pit area which we're going to fit in here. And then I have to sort out the timing gates, the center line, and things like that, and then she'll be good to go. However, I did do a poll in Discord. Slide back into the game and spin some laps again. I did do a poll in Discord to see what people wanted, and it seemed like the majority of people wanted me to build all of the 4 or 5 tracks that will go into the series before releasing any of them. And that was a landslide vote. It wasn't even close at all. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So whilst I'm sitting here previewing this track for you right now, you're probably not going to see it for another 2-3 months. That's if I keep up the same work rate that I am right now. You know what? It is what it is. I've said it before. When it comes to track builders, I think people don't give them enough respect for their time and effort that goes into it. I had an idea before where I made Riverside. Riverside is nothing compared to how much time I've spent on this track. It's actually disgusting. I've basically put off the rest of my life for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Even when it comes to like pre-recording videos, I go away. Basically, when you're watching this video, I have 3 or 4 videos to record before that happens. At the time for me right now is 5 PM on Thursday. I go away midday Friday. So yeah, that's not been very good, but I get so hyper fixated when it comes to stuff like this, and because my like Blender skills, for example, aren't as insane as other people's, when it comes to like placing bales, some bits are quite quick if they're following the same sort of line. So the ones on the very back left straight, so over basically the opposite side of the track to this, in Blender they are perfectly horizontal to the map, so you can just slide it along one axis and it's absolutely fine. However, section that I just went through, where it's entirely at a certain degree, I have to like move things one by one. There's probably faster ways of going about doing it, but I just don't know them yet. So it takes me a while, but it's been fun. It's been really fun, like problem solving and troubleshooting. And if I come across an issue, I can then I can go online, try and Google it, find the answer, and be like, oh, okay, I'm a smarter man than I was 30 minutes ago. But it has been frustrating at times as well. So I hope you like the look of this. I hope you're enjoying the overall vibe that I've gone for. And as I say, this is going to be round 1 out of about 4, maybe 5, depends how I feel, tracks. I might, if I do 5, you'll probably get a pre-season track just to kind of wet your whistles a bit, get an idea of the scaling. Obviously on the 450 right here, the scaling probably looks quite small, especially in these corners. I like these berms. I don't think many people will, because you can't just rail them fergie wide open. You actually have to check up and cut down on them a bit. They're a lot bigger on the 110 than they are on a 450. That's obviously that's pretty obvious, but I'm happy. I'm happy with how the track rides. I'm happy how it feels. And now I just got to go back to troubleshooting. probably for many, many hours before I can finally ride it with no glitches, no texture bugs, no collision files being in the wrong place. But I hope you're excited for it. That will be it for me. I hope you have enjoyed. If you could drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, I would very much appreciate it. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain, even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want.